Hi everyone, my name is Jodi, and if you're watching for the first time, I'm an erased mom. And what that is I had 4 children at one time, and they've all succumbed to what's called parental alienation. Their father has abducted them, coerced them into leaving, and manipulated their minds, completely and utterly destroying them and any relationship that we once had. I raised these children virtually alone after my twins were 5 weeks old. My son was 2, and my oldest daughter was 4. My twins are girls, by the way. And he left, and I've been raising them ever since. This man saw our children once every 12 to 18 months at best, and that was for most of their lives until 2011 or 12, when he decided to suddenly appear. And once he did that, I knew that my time with my children was going to be very short. I also knew this from the very beginning in 2000, after he left in the middle of my baby shower. Came in, announced he wanted a divorce in front of all my friends and family, and threw divorce papers at me, not knowing my older 2 children were in the car. So I knew at that time that I probably had very little time left with my children, and that this man would retaliate in any way. If he doesn't agree with you, you will lose everything. He's demonstrated that with other people in his life after me. So anyway, you might have seen a lot of videos in here, and some of them I'm crying and upset because we have bad days. There's a lot of us out here. We have some very bad days. We have some days that are a little bit better than others. And so anyway, I was feeling pretty good today, and I've just been watching some uplifting videos, and mostly children that had overcome some things, and specifically one girl on America's Got Talent, and she just inspired me. So anyway, I wanted to put this out here because I am always told that I'm ranting and saying things that are not politically correct. So if you do not know what parental alienation is, I implore you to please research it, because if it's not happening to you, it's probably happening to someone you know, or could happen to someone in your family in the future. This is such an epidemic that it's just completely out of control, and it's nationwide, it's worldwide, it's everything. It's not gender specific. Doesn't matter your race, your status, your how much money you make, doesn't matter. But the judges are allowing this. So anyone that says that's not happening are obviously not living this completely. So the judges are allowing this nightmare, and they are taking people's children completely from them. And then a problem we have is when parents say they don't have their children, and especially a mother, people think that we did something wrong, whether it's drug use, parading men through the home, anything of that nature, and that's simply not true. Okay, this is simply from narcissistic ex-spouses that either couldn't have us or didn't want the truth to come out about their wrongdoings, and so they're using the things that we love the most against us to hurt us. Sometimes it's money driven, so they can get out of child support or get tax write-offs, like such in my case. But it's really motivated by the hatred from one parent to the other. Men, I know, go through this as well, and they used to go through it more than women, but it's now actually the pendulum has swung. Okay, so now I know the men go through it, and there's a lot of sexual abuse allegations and all this. that shouldn't be happening, and I believe firmly that anyone making false allegations of any kind of abuse needs some jail time. So, with that being said, I wanted to spread awareness about this parental alienation because it doesn't matter if you are accused sexually, physically, or mentally against doing something against your children. This is a sickening, sickening hate crime and an emotional holocaust. And I hope you can see me because my glasses are kind of foggy. So, what I've done lately is I've asked some mayors in different cities if they would sign proclamations regarding parental alienation and declaring, basically, proclaiming that Parental Alienation Awareness Day is April 25th, which it is worldwide anyway, but I wanted it in writing, and other people before me, of course, and all over, have gotten these done. This year I got 5 done, 2 of them with the help of another gal up in Erie, Pennsylvania, and I don't want to say her name unless I was given permission, so I'm not going to do that. She's got her own little group, and the 2 of us were on the news, and we did a very small rally, very small, doesn't matter, but it got the word out, and since the media came out and talked to us, she now has 12 people in her group. 12 people in one city so far, one being a doctor, in one city that stemmed from this media coverage that we got. So she started getting calls when I was up there, and I'm in Texas, but she started getting calls in Pennsylvania as soon as the media did the story. So I'm hoping the media will finally listen to other people around here. The media won't listen to where I'm from in Iowa. Des Moines Register shuts me down. Channel 5, Channel 8, Channel 13 shuts me down. WHO Radio shuts me down. And they don't want this to get out because they know that it's racketeering and the states are making money off of our children. Excuse me. So in my case, they flipped my custody to non-custodial parent. And when they do that, they get Title IV funding. So mine is not a CPS case, and no offense to those people that have that, because most of those are bogus anyway, and I realize that. But the CPS, when CPS takes your children, that's Title IV funding. So if you are oblivious to this, I hope you start researching, because the Federal Social Security Act 458 is taking our Social Security money and helping to pay to take our children away. And that's going back in the state for food stamps, WIC, welfare, maybe children in the middle classes, co-parenting classes, whatever they want to use it for. Maybe for their pockets. Who knows? Judges are getting bonuses, I believe, for making non-custodial parents. And many mothers, people think that only men pay child support. Many mothers are paying child support as well. And I know the many mothers that are probably have no problem with paying child support if they don't have their kids. But here's the problem. They don't have their kids, a lot of them, because the ex made false allegations of abuse. So that is a problem. All right, you shouldn't have to be doing this. Like I said before, false allegation, abusive people that make these claims need some jail time. And they should not be rewarded by having sole legal custody. Okay, so back to what I was saying. I've got 5 proclamations done, and I'm going to show you right now. And so I'm just a mother, okay? This is very easily done. And you can send out a cover letter, or I have a copy of a cover letter that another mother created, and I helped her edit it. And she's a very good writer, and together we did the Erie proclamations, and then I went out and got 3 more. One in the city where my children go to school, which is Grimes, Iowa. one in the city in which they were taken from, North Richland Hills, Texas, and then one in a city where I'm living in Grapevine, Texas. So I'm actually sending out thank you notes to these people that did this, because it's not really, it was up to them if they signed it, and I really appreciate it. I know it's a ceremonial thing, but it's a big deal to me, and hopefully to my children someday. So I'm gonna span these. I know they're backwards. And this one, Grimes and the city council of Erie, PA. And you can see that they're different. I know you can't read these, but they're all a little different, except for the city of Erie and the city of Grimes. What's important about those two, and I'm really glad that those two are the ones that they did this way. They actually took my entire proclamation, every word I wrote. And I got some of the wording from past proclamations that I've seen. I've got a lot of the wording from Dr. Craig Childress, Linda Gottlieb, Dr. Stephen Miller, Dr. Amy Baker, and then I kind of just meshed it together and put my own wording in there as well. So it's already done for you. There's proclamations out there. Doesn't have to be mine or the gal in Erie. Doesn't have to be hers. You can get these online. There's not very many, but you can Google them and create your own. Okay, so some of these people will not sign it because it's not April anymore, obviously. But on two of mine, the Erie City Council and the mayor of Grimes City Council, they took my entire proclamation. And what the best part of this is that they stated, or allowed to be stated, that children suffering from the effects of parental alienation or hostile, aggressive parenting should not be given the opportunity to, quote, choose, end quote, one parent over the other by a family court judge that is not trained in psychology or by a parental alienation expert, since the effects on a child of the loss of a parent and the relationship will cause significant, immediate, and long-term developmental pathology in a child. And that's true. I've already seen it in my own children and seen it in children of others and heard about it. So I was pretty excited they kept that part in there, because a lot of these people give campaign contributions to judges. So they all said they liked the way it was and they were going to keep it. So that's amazing. And I'm hoping someday that my kids will see this. And if they do, if they're watching, I love you all. And I'm still fighting for you, no matter how you're taught to hate me. Doesn't take away my love for you. So I hope you're all well and healthy and happy. And I just want to be a part of your life, because I don't want to be an erased mom anymore. There's no sense in this. And my door is always open. And you're welcome to call me anytime. Okay, you know my number. So I hope any children that are watching would reach out to their own parents. Okay, what I'm doing next is I did the hashtag Red Bucket Challenge. So if my kids are watching, yes, please check that out. Hashtag Red Bucket Challenge. I did that at Christmas time for the last 2 years because I think my gifts are being intercepted by the ex-spouse. So the Salvation Army helped me at one point when we were really down and I was struggling, and things that my kids probably don't even know how bad it really was. And I wasn't getting support. I was working, and I had some minor setbacks with some things that broke, like appliances and things of that nature, and really, really struggling. So Christmas was horrible. Or was going to be horrible. I went to the Salvation Army and got some help. I told them I felt bad because I'm usually the one donating to them, and they told me to pay it back, pay it forward someday. So I did, and I hope I did to the best of my ability. And I went out every day I could and put money in the red kettles at the Salvation Army where the bell ringers are, and put money in an envelope. And on the envelope I put, I wrote the words, in honor of my alienated children. Sometimes I put their names, sometimes I just said, in honor of alienated children everywhere. Because it's not just about my kids, it's about all these children. And I put whatever money I had in my pocket at the time or in my car, and I put that in there. If I had hardly anything to give, I gave at least $4, $1 for each child. So it just depended on the day. And ironically, every single bell ringer I came across had a similar story to what my children are now going through, or to what I'm going through. They were either parents or they were young kids that went through this. And so they said they wanted to give back because the Salvation Army helped them. All right, so another thing I'm doing is the red envelope campaign. Like him or hate him, I'm sending red envelopes with letters in them to President Trump. And I also send them to legislators in Texas and in Iowa, and I've also sent some to people in Utah so far. And I tell them to defund Title 4D and Title 4E and to make judges accountable. Because in my opinion, that's the thing we need to do the most. Okay? Because these alienators are going to violate orders no matter if they're 20, 30, 40, 50, 100%. If we had that kind of agreement in a custody order, these people are going to violate it no matter what. So we need the judges to be accountable, and when they do have these violations come before them, that they actually do something about it. Our kids should not be isolated from us, from any parent. If you're fit, you've never abused these children, you have not neglected them, then you shouldn't be without them. Point blank and period. All right, so I also think that one person shouldn't be making that assumption. So, you've got a judge that hates dads or something. He might side with the mom. He might think, you abused him because of what was said. Blah, 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 blah. It goes both ways. Okay, maybe they have some kind of hate complex over women. And so you're just not going to win your kids. And this is ridiculous that we have to worry if we're going to win or lose our own children. This is unconstitutional. Unbelievable. All right, so, yeah, I can't believe I gave birth to 4 kids and now I have chihuahuas. Really? All right, so a lot of us are going to go on rallies or have been, and there's a lot of parades going on in the summer. And especially like July 4th is coming up. In August is Iowa State Fair. So if there's any Iowa people watching, I hope you reach out to me at Parental Alienation Awareness Iowa. That's Parental Alienation Awareness Iowa. And let me know if you want to join me. I'd like to walk in that parade or drive in it and have signs all over, but I'd rather be walking it and passing out flyers. But I need to find out if I can get some sponsors of some sort, and I would put their name on the back of these shirts if I can get sponsors. But I need sponsors to help me with the printing cost of flyers, because there's at least 200,000, if not more, people at this parade. I'm guessing it's probably 300,000. And, the city of Des Moines is only like 425,000, I think. All right, so this is a big deal. And we can educate a lot of people in one day, in just 2 hours. We can educate a lot of people. So I'd like to know if anyone of you out there knows anybody that's willing to help with the cost of that, or any sponsors that would help, maybe to buy shirts for people that are going to be walking in the parade. I'm trying to get at least 50. It's hard to even get one at a rally, but I don't care if you've got a false allegation CPS and you're in a CPS nightmare. I don't care. Get these shirts, and it is parental alienation. You got CPS workers telling your children you're no good and all this, and then your children start believing it too in some cases. So I know some people will disagree with this, but if these people and then the foster care families are talking bad about the bio parents, that's parental alienation. If these children actually succumb to those lies too, okay? And people will maybe say that's not right, but parental alienation syndrome, when the children actually start believing this and living this lie, and that's what I'm dealing with right now with my children. So if you want these shirts, just so you know, because a lot of people aren't in my group, so it's Parental Alienation Awareness Iowa, and I post that there a lot, so join me there. Or you can go to booster.com, www.booster.com/Warriors Against Parental Alienation. That's booster.com/Warriors Against Parental Alienation. Just click on the buy and it'll take you from there. I've got royal blue and now lime green colors. And on the back, I know you can't see, but there is writing on the back. Sorry. And it says stop parental alienation. Parental alienation is child abuse, I think it says on the back. I'm sorry. And it says stop parental alienation, and then it says hashtag parental alienation warriors unite. That's the name of my other group, Parental Alienation Warriors Unite. All right, then like I said earlier, I think in another video, I'm not trying to make money off of these, and I'm definitely not making anything until there's print minimums made. 14 is my print minimum that I have to do for Booster, and then I make a little bit, and then I put that right back into ink, envelopes, paper, because when I write letters, I write real letters. I don't just email people. I email also, but I write real letters. And, printer cost, all this, flyers, trifolds that I've made, business cards I pass out. Even if I'm on an airplane, I pass out business cards because I have a captive audience. Where are they going to go? All right, I pass it out, and I put on there to watch my YouTube videos because then they can learn about parental alienation, and hopefully most of them look it up. If you haven't seen my story, it's also on the Huffington Post. You can put Jodi Mueller, Huffington Post, and you'll see it there with another radio interview. Okay. Let's see. And there's other people out here with videos on parental alienation that are very, very good. So check it out so you can get educated. All right. Then I've got another website someone created for me just a few weeks ago. And that's where you can get these hats. They've got erase mom, erase dad, and then other. So you just type in or have them put in what you want. It could be erased grandma, erased grandpa, erased sister, brother, uncle, whatever it is, stepdad, any of that. And we've got white and we have blue. So here's the blue. Just so you know, royal blue, this color, the parental alienation. And on these shirts, by the way, I just got women's cuts as well. So it's not just the unisex. Got women's cuts as well, and now a lime green. We all really relate the royal blue and lime green to parental alienation colors. Okay, so those are on that booster.com hashtag Warriors Against Parental Alienation. All right, this is a new... Oops, I'm sorry, let me go back to that. These hats and this bag... Okay, I know it's backwards. The bag says parental alienation is court-sponsored child abuse. It's got the logo that's on my Facebook group. And then on the back, it has the ABCs of parental alienation. I've got A, allegations of false abuse. B, berating other parents. C, custodial interference. Then it says don't be an alienator. All right, we could go on and on. I've done it kind of for fun and went A through Z, and it only took me about 10 minutes, and I had a word about this parental alienation with each letter, but there's no room on that for all that. So you could do that and put it in a letter to somebody. So, okay, so that site where these hats are and that bag And I also have a shirt there as well, a different shirt, and it's got a gavel on it. I'm sorry I don't have one to show, but it's got a gavel with a base, and at the top it says, sorry, what does it say? Deprivation of rights, right? Deprivation of rights, and then at the bottom it says, is not, in big letters, in the best interest of children. All right, and then it's a word cloud on the gavel and on the base. And on the base talks about family, and on the gavel it talks about everything the judges are doing: the unjust enrichment, the RICO racketeering, severing of families, things of that nature, everything related to their corruption. Okay, so that website, if you want to purchase there, the hat, the tote, or the shirt I just talked about, is on www.erasednomore.bigcartel.com. That's erased no more altogether, erased no more.bigcartel, CARTEL.com. And they've got some drop down menus, and you can choose like your color of hat. And then, like I said, if you want something other than mom and dad, write what you want and they'll get that to you. Then you click on the box for shipping and they'll ship that right out to you. Okay? And I apologize, I don't have the prices in my head. So just go to that website and see what they have to offer. Now, on that, I make very, very little. I'm not trying to promote this for money whatsoever. I just want this out there so people are wearing these, and my hope someday is to be walking through, Georgia or Washington State and DC and seeing just seas of these shirts and hats and things like that. And I would love that, to see that, because when we raise awareness, then we get some things done. All right? So when you're out there raising awareness too, ask people to write the legislators. They need to change some laws. If anyone knows how to write a bill, I'd love some help on that. I've given the state of Iowa ideas. I know people are working hard in Texas and other states, and they've got some exciting stuff going on in Pennsylvania, in the Erie area with a representative there, Ryan Bizzarro. And so my friend up there, another alienated mom, is doing great things, really great things. And just months ago, she didn't know how she was going to go on without seeing her children, but she's doing very, very well. And I know she misses her kids, but she's keeping busy and plugging away. So if anyone out there wants to join me in the Iowa State Fair Parade, please let me know. And I know there's people from all over the United States that go to that parade. It's the biggest and the best. And yes, I'm biased, but it is the biggest and the best that there is. And even Texas people fly there, even though we have 2 midways here. Woo. Texas vendors actually go up to Iowa and sell their wares, so they love it up there. And, their judicial system is horrible, but the fair is awesome. And, they have pork chops on a stick. So how can you beat that? Pork chops on a stick from the pork producers of the world in Iowa, right? So I'm hoping I can get some people there in Iowa. This is August 9th at 6:15 p.m. downtown Des Moines, Iowa. All right? And please let me know. Like I said, I'd like to get 50 people there. I hope that's not a stretch. I hope those 50 show up, whether you have had false allegations of abuse of any kind by an ex-spouse, whether it's been through CPS. Let's all get together and let's march the streets of Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa specifically. Let's march the streets and, educate people all down that parade route. And if you've got parades in your area, which I'm sure all of you do nearby, get some people together, put some signs together. You can do it, just poster board with markers if you have to. It looks really good if you have other copy places do it, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is that you're raising awareness. So you don't have to put a lot of money in it. All right? You don't have to buy these shirts. You don't have to have a hat. I think it looks good if you're all wearing one color and you stand out. So you want to do the royal blue, all that color? Cool. You want to do purple, pink, polka dotted, doesn't matter. Just get the word out, okay? Get some flyers or to pass out or whatever you can think of. All right, so it doesn't have to cost anything, spread awareness, but once you do have these shirts, the people come to you. They really do. And they kind of stare at the Statue of Liberty, with her hands over her eyes and in embarrassment, and it gets attention. And if someone asks me what that means, of course I'm going to tell them what it means. And I don't just talk about my story, trust me. My story's so horrific, sometimes I don't want to mention it, so I talk about other people's stories. In general, I don't give names or anything. I talk about the men that have lost the kids and the women, whatever it is. I know people from both genders that are going through this, and it's horrific. Doesn't matter how many days, weeks, months, years. It's horrific. So if you can't talk about your own case, if you've got a gag order, it doesn't gag you from talking about others. I, for one, say the hell with a gag order, and I would talk anyway, but that's just me. So, but if you do have one and you're afraid to do so, you can still talk about other cases, or you can talk about parental alienation in general, what it is. And it's a crime, it's emotional holocaust. Simple as that. All right? So research it if you haven't. Educate your family. I try to educate at least 4 people a day. And so if anyone watching this could do this, I'd love for you to share it with 4 groups maybe. And 4 people a day. If you've got 2 kids, just push yourself. I'm going to tell 2 people a day. You got 5 kids, I'm going to push myself, and I'm going to tell 5 people a day, whether it's on a letter or on the street. You're in the bank, you're wearing a shirt, or you're in the bank and you see a little child and say, oh, I miss the days when I saw my kid, and they go, what? What are you talking about when you saw your kid? All right, and open up the conversation. It's very simple, and I don't let people pass me without talking to them if they're looking at the shirt. But if I have a captive audience, I bring this up because everybody needs to know about this abuse. I don't want to hear any more about any more suicides, and I know there was one just last Saturday, and that was a CPS crime-related story, horrific. And now 4 other children are without a mother. But men and women committing suicide over losing parents, this should not be happening. And children taking their own lives because they've been taught to hate the other parent should not be happening. This is just horrible. And the abuse of these parents, and children, and families, these judges should be ashamed, and they should be locked up for this. They really should. Lawyers as well. And mental health providers, they need to be locked up as well. If they can't educate themselves on this and we have to train them, this is ridiculous. So they need some education, and if they're not going to take that on their own, well, then there needs to be some fines. I'd love to see that. 2 counselors in my children's lives ruined our whole family by their neglect and their lack of education in this parental alienation and triangulation and hostile aggressive parenting. Ruined our lives and ruined my children's lives forever. They'll probably never get over this, and I know I won't. So please get the word out. Again, my name is Jodi Mueller. My group is Parental Alienation Awareness Iowa, Parental Alienation Warriors Unite. I have 2 others. One's Make Families Great Again, and that's a whole nother place. You'd have to get with me to get that. Make Families Great Again. And then I have a page, Erase No More, and you can see the Red Bucket Challenge in there as well. All right, so I hope you have a good day, everybody, and get out there and spread awareness and hang in there. Please hang in there and just tell people we're coming for our kids. We're all coming for our kids, so look out. Because when you have lost your children and you've lost everything else, they need to be fearing us because we have nothing left to lose. We have nothing left to lose. All we have left to do is to fight. Fight like hell and raise awareness. That's all we have left to do. All right, so you just have to get up off your couch and get outside and walk around with a shirt. Just tell people, one person, two person, three. It just, if you tell 10 people, I guarantee you there are probably at least 5 of them are looking into it. All right, it's just like you invite people to a birthday party. You invite 10, 4 or 5 show up. Same concept. Okay. um, Business cards are good too. They're cheap. You can go on Vistaprint. You can go to Staples, Office Depot. Vistaprint's the cheapest, and make business cards, and then put what parental alienation is on that card. That's what I've done, and I put what it is, and I put some signs of it, because this is happening in intact families too. It happened in mine while we were still married, and I just didn't see. I didn't see it really coming, until years later that, I would really never see these kids again. I just never dreamed that there was no justice. Never in my wildest dreams would I believe that judges would allow for parents not to see their children when they've done nothing wrong. Never in my life. So get up off the couch, okay? Get to your parades, your rallies, get something going in your area, at the Capitol, the courthouse, in front of the news station, whatever you got to do. All right? And I hope to see some of these shirts, the blue, the lime green, the hats, and let's get talking to people, okay? Thanks, y'all. Bye.